Hi, welcome to ESL Lab Miami. I'm Kathy, and this is our 4th episode. Today I'd like to tell you about a wonderful English language phenomenon, phrasal verbs. English is full of phrasal verbs, and if you plan on conversing with Americans, you should become familiar with them. That way, the next time your friend tells you he ran out of food, stopped off at the supermarket and picked some up, and to come on by his house to help him cook up a good meal, you'll understand what he's talking about and take him up on that offer. In everyday situations, we use phrasal verbs a lot. We might say stop off instead of go to, pick up instead of get, and take someone up on an offer instead of accept the offer. Phrasal verbs are a less formal, casual way of expressing something that would otherwise sound formal or technical. The informal language makes us feel friendlier and less pretentious because that is how we like to be. We like to act friendly, dress casually, and speak informally. When we're speaking, we're more likely to use a phrasal verb than to use a more formal-sounding equivalent, which usually has a Latin base and unfortunately for many of you could be easier to figure out. But please make a big note for yourself. Although phrasal verbs are common in speaking, Americans tend to be more formal when we write. And so using the technical formal word is sometimes more acceptable. Let's take a closer look at phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is also called a two-part verb. It's a verb followed by a preposition or an adverb or both. And they can be quite complicated. There's a lot of information to know about them so that you could use them correctly. You need to know if they're transitive or intransitive, or separable or inseparable. But that would be a good topic for another podcast. Today I want to tell you how meaningful they are. Well, all words are meaningful, right? Yes, but phrasal verbs are especially meaningful because the meaning of the verb might not be the same as the meaning of the phrasal verb. Once you add that little preposition on to the end of the word count, the meaning changes. So, we say the meaning of some phrasal verbs is figurative, not literal. I've had endless discussions with one student of English over the phrasal verbs turn on and turn off. He used to say, "Turn the lights," clearly expecting that if the lights were on, I would turn them off, or if the lights were off, I would turn them on. It sounds like common sense, doesn't it? But to me, turn the lights means to physically move the light to the left or to the right, and without those tiny prepositions after the verb, I would just be waiting and waiting and waiting for the sentence to finish. Also, phrasal verbs don't follow any particular rules. We can't say that all phrasal verbs with the preposition out mean anything in particular because they don't. They all have unique meanings. But they do have some things in common, and that is that they are very common, they are used in speaking a lot, and they are used in informal situations. Therefore, they're very important to us, and the more you understand phrasal verbs, the better you'll understand English, and the more you'll understand us. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for listening.